Okay. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchier hat games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how you get to explore the towns in it, until I noticed out of my I can read you guys, peripheral vision that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that, whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting. Though what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. This is what he wrote, you guys. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you could do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me, and if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Too fast. I'm sorry. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him, but do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please, Kyle. Do you think he's gonna... Yeah, it's always Kyle. Do you think this great, wonderful friend is going to listen to Kyle? I don't think he's going to listen to Kyle. Because what else can you do besides play the cursed damn game? Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. No, because you're a great friend. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him, and after all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the disc, and it looks like like any ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker on it, written on it, Sonic.exe, and it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from somewhere else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on this when I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and went to play it, since I'm a big Sonic fan. Yeah, but Sonic fan and Sonic.exe fan is different. He's like, yo, my friend, nah, Sonic. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome, because like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start. There was a split second where I saw the title image turn into something more different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky was darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 66. Oh my god, Sega 666, and the water had turned red like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic. But the freakiest thing that was in that split second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with 2 glowing red dots staring right at me, and his smile had stretched wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured it was just some glitch and forgot about it. That is not a glitch. I'm sorry. How slow? I would have been like, yeetus deletus. At least it could be it would at least be a virus. Like, come on. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for 10 minutes or so, and then another weird thing happened. Hold on, did I just... Oh, no, okay, yeah, we're good. I thought I lost my spot. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, WTF? Oh my god! What is this doing? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was dark, cloudy sky of the bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD, and there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy caverns of winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image for the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game, it was a hacked game. How many mornings has he gotten to shut this thing off? Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared, or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's not smart. I don't know what he thought it was. As a smart gamer, I played the hacked game that could totally ruin my computer. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails, and when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds, and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like that Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more, then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different, shapes of red, and the text showed only Hill Act 1. The screen faded in and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the green hill zone from Sonic 1. The music was different though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and Tails started running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. That was odd. What was odd was that Tails was running along the level. There was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into a deep tone, very slowly as I kept going. I've read like cut down versions of this story. This is the full thing. I suddenly saw something I stopped to see. I finally saw something and stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face, and I've never saw him have before. So I had him move along. Tails is scared, send him into death. And he kept the worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them. Looking more and more worried as the music lowers and he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in a rather gruesome way. A squirrel was hanged on a tree. I don't know why I laughed at that. That's horrible. With what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat split. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. So I kept, letting Tails go deeper and deeper and torturing himself. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals. The music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. Poor Tails, he didn't ask for this. After a minute passed, the music stopped. Tails was running up a hill and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move. So this had to have been a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was about to happen. I heard the faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hands out to touch him. The cross! That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. No, you didn't! You sent Tails into his death! You did this! You think about what you've done. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like the title image. Though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken into a different level with the level title now saying Hide and Seek. This time I was in Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. You think he's gonna help Tails? I don't think so. So I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from SA2 was playing. As I made Tails trek through the desolate forest trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds have passed, I helped Tails run through the forest. And then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to the suspenseful drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. He wasn't supersonic though. The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic, and he had the black and red eyes again. Only this time he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox he had gained up on. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene. He had to put that in parentheses, another cutscene. The music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails lay there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. Wow, Crystal, you can read. Teared up myself. He teared up, but he still let Tails, suffer. He could have turned off the game at any point. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come out of those blackened eyes of Sonic's as he grinned. His grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black, and there was a loud screeching noise that only lasted for 5 seconds. The text returned only this time to say, "You're too slow, want to try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the the character select, and the save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself. Why did he say itself twice? Which was flickering with the red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. The orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. I'm gonna put Knuckles through the same thing I put Tails through. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can't run." I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack, or some kind of sick, twisted joke, or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing because I'm a smart gamer. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of Scrap Brain Zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had dark reddish cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like I can't read this. Giagas? I don't know. I don't know what this says. I don't know what this says. I don't know. Anyway, the theme, right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. Oh, I'm stupid. Context clues matters, guys. You'll be able to read it once you, read the context. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid just like Tails did, though not as much. More rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails and looked as if he wasn't sure what was going on, but I made him move anyway. He ran down the straight pathway in a dark level, and as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple times, and then that maddening laugh came again. Then after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible was going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated walking down this bloodstained road, but I still kept him going. This guy is a horrible person, just making these poor creatures go through this. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then red static appeared again. When the static vanished, showing nothing but black screen with text saying, "Found you." I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? I mean, he's the fastest thing alive. Of course he found Knuckles. I'm sorry. Gotta keep the spooks. Anyway, red static came and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time that high-pitched squeal from the Silent Hills one final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't, honestly. Suddenly Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punched Sonic, but Sonic vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles, and then there's so many and thens in this paragraph. And then I made him punch again, and Sonic vanished laughing. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. He's not driving you that crazy. You're still playing the damn game. Oh my god. I'm sorry. And then in a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles and his screen went black, and another distorted screechy noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. Another text appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree? What the hell? Just what is going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that. He ain't that scared, he's still playing the damn game. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in a TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too, and he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those are actual characters trapped in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it, so I shut the game off and took a break. I took a nap. Wish I hadn't, because I had begun to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in a pitch black darkness, and I was under the light given off by the lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you too." The cries died out as I then heard Sonic laugh. His laugh, it sounded a lot like a distorted Kefka laugh. We know, you've said this. You're a lot of fun to play with, kid, just like your friend Kyle, though he didn't last long. I was scared and looking around for the source of the voice. It won't be long now until you join him and all my other friends. I saw him walking towards me, flickering in and out in several directions. You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others. When he grabbed me, I saw his bleeding black and red-eyed, grinning face. I woke up with a fright. After a couple hours, I decided to continue playing the game. Okay. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik, but anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said ... which I found really freaky. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games, though it had the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered, the walls were dark grayish purple with animated candle lights and a few dark blood stains here and there. And there was a dark red curtain hanging above on the top part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, the red curtain swayed very slowly, but whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song. But I know better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, and it wasn't in reverse. Wow, this story is long. I'm sorry. Hopefully, it's okay. I'm reading okay. I think I'm reading okay. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing there. He turns his head to the left and then to the right at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he was or what was going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was going to happen, I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation. You know, when you're beating him at the end of a classic Sonic game and you see him and you chase him. As we continue going through the hallway, I stopped at a long flight of stairs heading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls have gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed into another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. And then we headed down another flight of stairs. This one was much longer. It took at least 1 full minute. And then I heard the horrid Kefka laugh again, and then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the torches were black flames now. When Robotnik landed on the third hallway, I noticed he now looked really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it, I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it showed me a most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean he looked so real you could actually see the lines in his fur, his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. His face, oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen. And that's saying something, considering I saw that image at the start of the game. You're actually invested. And soon we'll play this game, you guys. His eyes are wide and black and once again crying blood, which also looks hyper-realistic. And there were two small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the size of his face like a Cheshire cat, except Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs, much like the werehog's teeth, except more vicious looking. Somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips. Ew! Gross! And his fangs as if he ate some animal. Geez, Sonic, brush your freaking teeth. I stared at the gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off of it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face, it just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on the third time I heard the Kefka laugh, except this time it sounded distorted and demonic even. Because he didn't sound demonic before. It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there and then. This Sonic was a monster, a pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys, and the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness before the red static came. This time, much louder and distorted. So loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears at the red static, as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. Then it stopped and showed nothing but a black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, and one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at the text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the third save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped and had blackened, his glasses broke, and blood is coming from them. And he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. You put them through it! You put them through the agony! They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog. It sounded like I said horrid hedgehog, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one, and then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game, literally drags you into hell, where he can play with you always, as his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there. That whole computer is gonna yeet it out the window, telling you that. But at least I managed to turn it back on now. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice right behind me, like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring at me, was a Sonic plushie smiling with bloodstains under its eyes. And that is the end of Sonic.exe Creepypasta. Oh, that was a lot to read. Oh my gosh. And without my glasses. Oh! Let me get a drink. Oh my goodness. My throat, it's gone. It was long. Oh my goodness. You guys ready for the actual gameplay? Y'all ready for the everything he described to be in the game? There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know how to play. Let's go. Okay. Is it arrows? Oh, it's arrow keys, not W-A-A-A. Okay. Can I jump? No. I don't think I can jump. Oh my god. I wish I didn't have to have it full screen. Oh, here's the dead animals. Pixelated animals. Sonic's about to yell at my... Hopefully, can you guys hear the audio okay? I hope so. I don't know if you can jump. What if I just ran back? Oh, Sonic is like having a whole meal. Look at this. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Oh no. Silence. There's Sonic. The static, it's so loud! Guys, I tested this audio and it's so loud no matter what. Hello, do you want to play with me? Oh, there's voice now? Was there always voice? I don't remember there being voice from the other gameplays. Well, hide and seek. Let's get it. Ah, Tails, I'm sorry I'm putting you through this again. Let's go, Tails. I wish I can jump. It's so weird using arrow keys. I'm so used to WASD. This music is oddly peaceful. Oh my god. Oh, there's fire. How is Tails not, like, sweating? Oh god, that actually scared me! I forgot! Tails, run! Tails, run! Tails! Tails! Oh, here. Oh, he's coming for my booty. He's coming for my booty! Oh, Tails, I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Tails! I'm so sorry. Oh my god, this one has audio now. Well, rest in peace, Tails. Rest in peace. I forgot that jump scare was coming and it actually scared me. You're too slow. Want to try again? Oh, I forgot he's gonna read it.
Want to try again?
What if I just press escape now, huh? Knuckles, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Knuckles. Kizuna! Don't worry, I am an adult. I'm an adult. Alright, Knuckles. Let's get it. Let's go. Man's got yeeted. Ooh, there's some... Wait, there's an X... Oh, I can punch. Okay. Ah! Alright, hide behind me. I got you, fam. Ah! Sonic, you bastard! I just wanted some tomato sauce off the wall. Come here, Sonic. Let me punch you. Poor... You know, Knuckles looks like he's smiling through this whole thing. Oh my god.
You will die at my hands.
Rest in peace, Knuckles. Wow, Knuckles has a very girly scream. I'm not gonna read this time.
Souls to play with. Sometime. Would you agree?
No, I don't agree, Sonic. Maybe get a freaking hobby that's not killing people. Robotnik's like, I don't want to do this. I'm sorry, Robotnik. It must happen. We have to get through this. Dot, dot, dot. I know they said in the creepypasta that this music was peaceful or, like, nice. I feel like this one's actually the creepiest one. Robotnik, run! Run, Robotnik! Where's the dash button, bro? Oh, there he goes. It ain't horror unless you have the ear-piercing screen scary. Yeah, for real. Go, Robotnik. Run! I love that they have a gameplay. What just happened? It said you were posting links, apparently. I don't know. That's weird. I have to check on that. Oh god. Run, Robotnik, run! That's weird. Maybe sometimes if you have a period next to— Oh, Sonic! Oh, they actually have an animation to his blood crying. I'll have to check it out and see. Sometimes if you have a period next to, like, certain letters, it acts like a link, maybe. I don't know. But it deleted, like, all of your messages. That's weird. Ah! This isn't the Sonic picture I remember. Sonic, you know, your teeth actually look a little cleaner than, they said. This is not the original picture that came with the original game. They must have changed it. Okay, you can leave now. You can leave, okay. Oh god, that's so loud! Sonic. Oh my god. This static is so loud. How are your ears, y'all? You're just gonna show my whole name? You're just gonna show my whole name? You're just gonna show my whole— Oh yeah, there you guys go. You're just gonna show my whole name? That's rude. Just gonna show my whole name. Just gonna put my whole name out there. Rude. Good thing my name wasn't like Tits or something. Should I stay on the game over screen? Oh. I can't believe the game called me out. Ah, see, the Sonic.exe was probably what caused it. Yeah, I know, there's another song. Maybe I'll play another one eventually. But, the original Sonic.exe had a different picture. I looked up for the original. I thought this was the original. I didn't want to play through it because I wanted to play it on stream because I've never played it before. But, yeah, it had a different image. But maybe they updated it, which sucks. Because I actually like the older picture better. It was a lot more unsettling for me. What is this music? Oh my god. Yeah, it had like all the characters' heads on spikes and stuff. On pikes. It was really, really creepy. I guess I can get out of here now. Let me out!